Brazoria County, we've all heard the phrase drain the swamp. But let me tell you something. You don't drain the swamp by talking about it. You drain it by pulling the plug. And that plug is sitting right here in the Angleton Drainage District. For too long, unelected power, backroom decisions, and overreach have gone unchecked, even to the point of trying to take land from the very people they're supposed to serve. That's where Laura comes in. Laura Hasso is not a politician, she's an engineer. She understands the system, she understands the infrastructure, and most importantly, she understands what's at stake. They picked a fight with her, and she didn't back down. Laura Hasso is a conservative independent, and she's a fighter, and she'll fight for the people of Angleton the same way she's fought for her own property, her own rights, and her own future. If we're serious about draining the swamp in Brazoria County, it starts here. It starts now, and it starts with pulling the plug. No one is above the law. The people have had enough. We will root out the criminals and expose them all. We're fighting to expose the criminal element in Texas. Our investigation in the Brazoria County's justice system has just begun.
And now your host, Kevin Henry.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. I'm excited to be back with you guys. It has been a long time since we've been on. We have a lot to talk about. And I have officially made a call out for Laura Hasso because I've heard a lot of things about her. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Absolutely. So I've heard a lot about you. I've heard actually something that I heard was in a courtroom not too long ago, actually a couple of weeks ago. I heard an attorney sit there and say, and this is X-rated, so if you got kids listening, earmuffs kids, but this is what the attorney said as she turned around and pointed to Laura Hasso as she was sitting in the crowd behind. She said, Laura Hasso likes to F shit up. Laura, is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
What
I do.
What were they talking about? What's the problem there?
They don't like the fact that I advocate for people.
Okay.
They don't like the fact that I submit public records requests and I let people know, hey, did you know that this is what's being said about you? And they just don't like the fact that I check on the government.
When you check on the government, you mean you file public information requests, you look into different documents, you find something that you want to dig into, you send a PIR to any of the entities in Brazoria County, or
All of them.
All of them?
All of them, from school districts to the county courthouse, everybody.
Everybody.
Recently,
we had a big win in Brazoria County, and we defeated Ryan Cade's run for re-election. The people at Angleton showed up, and not only did they show up strong.
Yep.
And they literally sat Ryan Cade back down and sent him home. What's your opinion on that race and how that went?
I'm happy with the outcome of that election. In fact, I am on Precinct 2 in Angleton, so I did get to vote in that election. And I'm happy that we elected the candidate that's going to be a full-time commissioner.
You sent me an email and you said you're actually running for Angleton Drainage District.
Correct, I am.
Why the Angleton Drainage District? What's in the drainage district that you wanted to be a part of?
That's where the plug is.
The plug?
The plug.
For what?
Draining the swamp.
Drain the swamp.
That's
nice.
where you drain the swamp.
I like it.
There's the plug.
What do you know about the Angleton Drainage District?
You know, the Angleton Drainage District is a very powerful entity in Angleton. They're the ones that do the entire drainage. Nothing can be built in Angleton without their approval. One of the things also that they do, they manage the budget. They have eminent domain power. They can take your property.
Tell me about your opponents. Who are you running against?
I'm running against Tim Grisby. He was appointed to the board in January of this year, And Barry Coleman, he was appointed to the board in 2024.
Barry Coleman, does he have a appraisal business?
Yes. Yeah, that's him.
So I recently, the reason that name's familiar, I'm selling a house because I'm buying a house in Rockport because I'm starting a new location in Rockport. And real estate agent asked, I think it's Coleman, to do an appraisal on my house. And he refused to do an appraisal on my house because of who I am. I didn't really get any answers as to why or what I did wrong to the Colemans, but he said that they absolutely refused to do an appraisal on my house. So I guess that's selective choices there. It's a free world. He can do what he wants. But so that's actually one of your opponents?
Yes.
And Grigsby?
Tim Grigsby.
And they were both appointed.
Yes.
Both of these guys. So you're actually running to be an elected official on the Angleton Drainage District.
Yes.
Tell me about your background and why you think you would be good on the board for Angleton Drainage District.
Well, I'm an engineer. I've worked in the oil and gas industry for over 20 years. I managed projects in the past involving drainage and flooding mitigation controls. I feel that I bring a lot to the table.
So you're actually qualified for the job?
Yes, I am.
What's the biggest key for the Angleton Drainage District that you want to tackle? What's the biggest hurdle there that you want to go in there and accomplish?
Transparency.
Okay. What do you mean?
Financial transparency and transparency in decision making.
All right. So you don't think there's good decision making going on in the drainage district?
I think it can be improved.
Okay.
Drastically.
Have you had any experience with the drainage district? Like personally?
Yes, I have.
How'd that go?
Didn't go too well.
What?
It didn't go too well.
What's going on?
So a couple of years ago, the drainage district came over to my property. They claimed to have ownership, which turns out they have no ownership.
Of your property?
Yes. When we purchased it, it didn't have the easement or anything. They came in, they said, we own it, we've had it for many years. We pushed back, and now they recognized that we were in the right and they were in the wrong.
How did you prove that? Did you have documents to support it, or?
Yes.
What were they trying to do?
What they were trying to do is what exactly they did. They cut trees and removed erosion control that we had on the slope.
So they went to your property that you own, they have no rights to, and started cutting trees.
Yes.
I don't know about any of you guys, but I'd be pretty upset about that.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to see them come out and do that without them having any legal authority to do it.
Whatsoever.
But
they told you they had legal authority to do it.
They told me that. They wanted me to believe them, but I checked and I verified, and that's not the case.
So it sounds like they're used to doing this to a lot of people if they're just walking around people's yards willy-nilly and cutting trees down.
Yes, that's what I have heard from people, that this has happened to them.
When they showed up to your house, were they polite? Did they have documentation? Did they show you how the property is theirs and how it's supposedly not yours, and before they started cutting your trees down?
No, they refused to provide any documentation. They were sending contractors without permits or any documentation. In fact, Ronnie Slate was the vice chair of the board at the time. He came out and he wasn't being nice, I can tell you that. And when he was approached with, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? I need paperwork. He refused to provide me any.
Is that the clip? Is that Ronnie Slate, the guy that you provided the clip for?
Yes.
The guy that was standing in your yard?
Yep.
Pete, will you roll that clip for us?
Do what?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Ronnie Slade.
I'm Laura Hasso. What are they doing here? And I want to see the documentation on that thing those stakes that you had them put here. They came out here and put right-of-way sticks. I want to know, where's the documentation on that?
You'll find all that out because that's all our easement. We paid for that easement. The taxpayers have paid for that easement. It's on your documents if you look at it.
What documents?
And if you want to see actual documents.
I need to see those documents, or else
That's fine.
I mean, you guys need to leave until I see these documents.
No, we're not leaving, and we'll call the police if you want to.
Okay, well,
Because
let's call
we
the
have the
police.
right to be here.
I have documentation on the ownership of this land, and there's no right of way here.
Well, you're wrong. And
There is not no right of way here, sir.
yes, ma'am, there is. Your last name, Jaso?
Yes.
Who's your husband? John?
Lord, it doesn't matter who my husband
I'm
is.
asking
I own
because I
this
know some Jasos.
No, you don't know my husband. My husband doesn't know you.
Oh, he
I don't
doesn't?
know you. We don't know you guys. Like, I need to see, where's your documentation?
What you need to do, if you need to look at it, is go out to our office
I submitted an open records request on that.
and we'll go out there and she'll show them to you.
Where is this place at? I don't want her to show me. I need a copy of it. I want a copy of this documentation that you guys claim to have. I need to see it.
Well,
And-
you'll get it. If you've submitted a request, you'll get it. But right now, we're going to go ahead and survey it because this is our easement. We paid for it. The taxpayers.
When did you guys pay for this easement, sir?
Years and years ago.
When? I mean, you're claiming all this. Where's the documentation on this? Why
Ma'am,
didn't you bring it?
I've got tons of documentation. We've got engineers. We've got surveyors. We all know what we're doing.
You know what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why did that contractor come and take items, things that were in place for erosion control? Why did he come and take them out like that?
Ma'am.
And what is the plan on getting this repaired? Because this is my land, and that is supporting my land up here. And it's been damaged.
Well, let me tell you, there's going to be more trees taken out and all that due to the flow of water. We're not going to, it's in our easement. It's not in your land.
There is no easement on my land,
Yes,
sir.
there is.
No, there isn't.
Where that stake sits right there, straight across 150 foot is our easement.
I don't have
By
that.
law.
I haven't seen that.
Well, you need to look at your documents. And if you want to see ours, just go out to the office and she'll be glad to show them to you.
What are you guys doing?
We're surveying, showing where our easement is because we got the tree guys coming through here. We're going to cut and trim these trees all the way down, all the way for miles. I know you're upset. I don't know why you're upset at me.
I need to see documentation. You guys are coming here without any documentation to provide me that you
Ma'am.
guys have the right to be here. Your contractor didn't have that. These guys don't have that. You
Yes,
don't have
they
that.
do
And
have
yet
that.
y'all are coming in here.
Yes, they do
I
have
need to
that.
see it. Well, where is it?
Drive out there and look at it. I'm not going to listen to all this back and forth because you're not accomplishing nothing. I'm not accomplishing nothing.
Look, sir, I am trying to get an understanding of where this document is and where did it come into play. I haven't seen it. I'm not approving any of this.
It doesn't matter if you approve it.
I want to let it be known.
We
You're
own
coming
that
here.
land.
Let it be known. You guys do not have permission to be here, okay?
Well, let it be known we own the property from that stake that way 150 feet. Let it be known.
Let it be known. I have documentation that says otherwise, sir.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
So that clip was Ronnie Slate basically telling you they're going to do whatever they want with that property because it's theirs, even though they didn't have supporting documents in their hand and you requested it.
Correct.
And there was a post in the yard that was saying like that's how much of your property they're going to take from you.
That's how much they claim to have.
They claim
That they had that easement. That's what they were claiming.
and you basically just wanted documentation and proof, and that's the attitude that he gave you.
Correct. Yeah.
As far as your property rights goes, you have as much rights as you're willing to stake claim to, right?
Yes.
And you have to fight back for your property rights if they try to take your property. What's the proper channels for this to happen if they wanted to do it legally?
Well, they have to go through a process of they can't take your property just to take it. You have to be compensated for it, and there's various ways you can come into an agreement. They can they can compensate you for it, and then you grant the easement, or they have to use the condemnation process, which is eminent domain.
And you never received compensation for this property But they said that they had purchased the property?
They said that they purchased it many years ago. However, the previous owner never received any money. She never got compensated. In fact, she did not know that they supposedly had an easement there.
And this is the person that you purchased the property from, right?
Yes.
And she never told you anything about the Angleton Drainage District owning so much of your property?
Nope.
How does that feel whenever you're sitting there in your house and they come to your house telling you that they own a pretty good large portion of your property and there's nothing that you can do about it?
It's very sad. You feel powerless. You feel that your rights are being trampled on and there's no one that's going to listen to you or help you.
And they're probably used to this. Nobody pushes back on them and nobody knows their rights the way you do, right?
Yes.
And the reason why you know your rights is because you dig into stuff and you look into what your rights are. You do public information requests. You look for these supporting documents. And did you look for the supporting documents that they claim they had?
Yes, I did a title search myself. I went out to the courthouse and I got public records. I found that they actually paid another home property owner that was not the owner of that property.
So they're coming to your property. They're saying they're going to take your property. And then I believe the man told you that you need to go up to the drainage district to go get the documents.
Yes.
And has there ever been a chance of you trying to go do that at the drainage district, or did you just go straight to the courthouse?
I went straight to the courthouse.
Have you heard about people going to get documents at the drainage district or anything sitting in the board meetings or anything like that?
I've read meeting minutes, and just the way, even in the minutes, you can see the culture of that meeting and how that meeting is going. Just how the chairman addresses members of the public.
And so you basically fought for your rights, and now where are you at with this process, with this particular situation?
It's already recognized that they do not own the property, and they have no rights to the property. There's no easement there, so they backed off.
So you fought back.
I fought back.
And is that the reason why maybe the people in the courtroom were saying you like to F stuff up? Is that what she means by that?
Part of it, yes.
Basically because you're fighting for your rights.
Yeah. I fight for my rights. I ask questions. I show up to public meetings.
And you fight back.
And I fight back.
And you keep your property. You pay taxes on that property for however many years you've been there. And then now they're just going to come in and stake a claim on it and say, we need this now.
Yep.
Why do you think they're doing that?
I think they're doing that because there was mistakes done in the past, and they're not wanting to follow the process in place.
So a funny highlight here is another thing that I heard about you, and one of the big key takeaways to why I wanted to have you on the podcast was during my February 8th, what they call the insurrection party at the Civic Center when I was running for county sheriff. Several people told me that you were the one that hired the mariachi band to come in in the middle of the event. And was that you that actually did that?
Yes, that was me.
That was you?
That was me.
That was probably one of the funnest things that I've ever gone through as far as my campaign for sheriff, because there was ups and downs during that campaign. But when that mariachi band showed up to that event, it was hilarious. Everybody was laughing, and it was you.
It was me.
Do we have a clip of that?
Yeah, I do. I do have a clip.
Pete, can you roll that clip, please?
How we deal with it was we get people to understand that not everybody has to like us. I came to grips with that many, many years ago.
Not me.
That was funny stuff right there. That was amazing. Actually, there was another mariachi band. I had a press conference because there was this whacked out chick that made a death threat video of me while I was running for sheriff. And it depicted a man. It was an AI generated video that she had done. And it depicted a man getting on his knees and somebody else holding a gun to the back of his head saying Kevin Henry. And this was while I was running for sheriff, and I had told the authorities about it and told the Rangers about it. And typical Brazoria County fashion, it all got swept under the rug. But I held a press conference at the courthouse steps, and a mariachi band showed up there. Was that you that purchased that mariachi band too?
No, I did not pay for that band. I did not take that band, but I did hijack that band.
You hijacked the mariachi?
I hijacked it.
How'd you hijack it?
Well, they were just standing there, and, mariachi band, play. So they played all my songs.
Whoever brought the mariachi band there, I guess, was doing it to disrupt our press conference, and then you hijacked them and told them what songs to play.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That was a good time also, because we sat there, we took pictures with the band and all that. I didn't know who bought the band, but I figured it was you, because you had maybe were taking pictures with them and telling them what to play, but I guess it was somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else paid for it. We got to enjoy it.
Whoever paid for that band, thank you, because that was a dang good time there too.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing about waste, fraud, and abuse, and the citizens in Brazoria County that I know. They always talk about how they want to doge Brazoria County, kind of like what the federal government did and Elon Musk, how they went through the federal government and they found all the waste, fraud, and abuse, whether it was in USAID or wherever our taxpayers' dollars were going, and then where it ended up at. What would you do, or what could you do from the Angleton Drainage District as far as looking at waste, fraud, and abuse and making sure that our taxpayer dollars are getting used appropriately and for the right purposes and not going into somebody's pocket?
I think there should be some sort of check and balance, because I have found some instances of waste, fraud, and abuse already. And these are written on public records.
So you've already found fraud?
Yep, I have.
What fraud did you find?
Well, I found one involving a purchase of a John Deere tractor. They made a wire supposedly to the dealership where they were buying it. Somehow they got hacked, and the wire went to an unknown individual. And
How much was it?
It was about $45,000.
$45,000 went to somebody else?
Yeah, it just kind of disappeared and went to a hacker. The drainage district needed a John Deere tractor, so they actually made the purchase. So they spent another $45,000 to purchase what they needed.
So they spent $90,000 on a $45,000 tractor.
Yes.
And surely they went back and found that $45,000 and put it back in the coffers for the drainage district, right?
I never found evidence of that.
So that $45,000 got wired somewhere, and nobody did anything about it.
Correct.
Just on one purchase.
On one purchase.
With the Angleton Drainage District.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what goes on in all the other departments?
Yeah.
If they're easily just wiring money out willy-nilly and nobody knows where it's going?
Well, if it happened once, it could happen again, right?
What would you do if that was your money and you were wiring money somewhere? What's the proper steps to take in order to get that money back?
You contact the bank and you file a claim.
And
you report the incident.
And you typically get that money back, right?
Well, they can put a stop payment order on it.
Find any evidence of them doing that?
I never found any evidence of them being able to resolve the issue and get the money back. That was never found.
But $45,000 disappeared just like that?
Yep.
With one wire, one push of a button?
Yep.
You have any speculation on where that money went?
Nope.
$45,000 just like that, just on one purchase?
Yeah, $45,000 of taxpayer money.
So you seem to know a lot about easements also. So have you ever had any other issues with easements?
I did have another issue with an easement on the other side of my property. It was the
same property that they were trying to cut your trees down on?
Yes. On the opposite side, there's an easement that belongs to our neighbors in their neighborhood. We had a internet company come and put an electrical box, and they were using my property to access this easement instead of using the proper right-of-way access to it. It was brought up several times to them, and it was we had a conversation with them. They refused to follow instructions, so they built their box, and I blocked it.
What do you mean you blocked it?
I got a telephone pole, and I blocked access to it.
You put a telephone pole next to their box that they have mounted?
So they couldn't open the box.
Do you have a picture of that?
Yes, I do.
Pete, can you put the picture up of this, Pete? Now, this is genius. So once you come in, they put their box up, and how soon after did you have the pole installed?
So they put the box, and that was maybe on a Friday. And then that weekend, we hired a contractor, said, hey, put me a telephone pole right here. So they installed it, and then the following business day, went back, came home from work, and hey, the box had been fixed. It got flipped to where it was supposed to be.
Put it on the right side of the pole where they were supposed to.
On the right side.
Well, that's one way to do things.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you fight back and you don't just let these people do whatever they want. Had you done something wrong, then they would have moved your pole, right?
Yes.
So it proved that they were in the wrong.
Yep.
And you're just telling them, do it the right way. You don't mind the pole being there. You just want things done the right way.
Yep.
And not just to come in and trample all over your property, cut your trees down, put boxes where they don't belong. And I commend you for that. That's a pretty genius way of fighting back, for sure.
Yeah, when you own property, it's your property, and it's your right to protect your property.
Would you take care of everybody that all your constituents there in your area? If, let's say, you get elected on the Angleton Drainage District, would you fight back for other people's rights? You're not the kind of person that's just going to stand up for yourself, are you?
Oh, no, I'm going to fight for everybody, for all the constituents that are part of the Angleton Drainage District.
And you would never let them come condemn somebody's property and cut trees down and all that if you would fight back for those people too?
Exactly. There's a process, and the process needs to be followed because property owners have rights.
And you're not doing this for a feather in your hat. You're not doing this for a leg up to be the next. You're not using the Angleton Drainage District as a stepping stone to advance your political career, right? You're doing it because you feel strongly about people's rights.
Correct. I'm not a career politician. I don't strive to be. I just want people to be able to stand up for their rights. I want to help people understand what happens at the drainage district, get them engaged. Recently, we've seen a lot of growth in Angleton. It all starts at the drainage district level.
What do you think about recently? We all kind of pulled together and we fought about, I think it was $160 or $150 million Angleton school bond. And the people showed up in droves and they voted against the Angleton school bond. I think mainly because of what we were just discussing, the waste, fraud, and abuse and what's been going on in the past. And the people have had enough of it and they don't want to have any more of it. What do you think about the school bonds?
I don't like school bonds, to be honest with you. There's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in school bonds.
So you think people are taking money and doing brother-in-law backroom deals and giving contracts to their kinfolk and stuff like that? Or how do you think they're getting away with it?
Well, they award the projects to a contractor. Next thing you know, the contractor's hiring people that are somehow connected to the school district.
Mm-hmm. You fight back. You don't put up with people telling you that you don't have rights. Mm-hmm. You want to fight for everybody in the county, not just yourself and your family. How much money are you going to make if you get elected at the Angleton Drainage District?
Zero.
You're doing this for free.
Yeah.
You're an engineer. You're a mom. How many kids you got?
I have two daughters.
You're a wife?
Yes, I have a husband.
And I'm sure you're busy. You take care of your kids, take care of your husband, take care of the house, and you work. And then you're signing up to run for Angleton Drainage District. I commend you for that because we need more people like yourself to stand up and run for these elected positions. Right now, we have appointed people in these positions. We need somebody that's elected that's going to fight for the people of the county. Who's in there right now in the Angleton Drainage District? How many people are in there and how many appointments are open?
There's 3 positions. The chairman is David Spohr. He's been there for over 42 years.
42 years?
Yes.
Is that like a record for the longest standing elected official in Brazoria County?
I believe so.
Yes.
That's something we need to look into.
42 years in the Angleton Drainage District. Wow.
Yes. And then we have Tim Grisby. He's been there since January as an appointee. And then Barry Coleman since 2024, an appointment as well.
2024?
Yes.
And so these guys, there's two spots open. And then when you go vote for Angleton Drainage District, you vote for 2 people, or you can vote for just one if you want, or
there's 2 seats, and there's 3 people running for those, for two of those seats. I'm one of them. So you'll be able to vote for as many as you want, and whoever gets the most votes gets a seat.
There's a Susan Spoor, I think, is on the appraisal board, right?
Yes.
So that's a wife or a...
I believe that's they're related, but they're like brother-in-law, sister-in-law kind of.
But she's on so if you have a problem with your property taxes, she's the person that you go see her. Or do you go?
No, she's in the Brazoria County board of appraisal district on the board.
And we have enough problems with the appraisal. I mean, I think we got some stuff coming hot off the press now for the property taxes, and I'm afraid to open mine. And I'm sure 90%, 95% of the county is afraid to open theirs. That's a whole different topic we can get into later. But right now, you're wanting to run for Angleton Drainage District in Angleton for one of the spots that's open out of the two, because the swamp is deep and the drainage district is where the plug's at.
Correct. Yeah.
When is the voting start? Is it early voting and then election day, or does it have the same type of setup for elections as the other offices?
Yes, the early voting starts on Monday.
On Monday. And when's it go through?
It goes for 2 weeks, and then I believe it's May 2nd.
May 2nd is the final voting day?
It's election day.
Okay. And have you done poll watching, or have you done any kind of election stuff in Brazoria County? Do you know what goes on in the elections office?
Yes, I actually did poll watch.
You poll watched?
I poll watched.
How was that experience?
Oh wow, it was eye opening. It was eye opening. It's something else that people should sign up to go and experience themselves.
To go see how the elections offices ran.
Yeah.
How did your experience go while you were in there?
Well, while I was in there, you see the boxes that come in. They make it into the tabulation room where all the votes get counted and get accounted for. I wasn't able to be in that room as I wanted to be. I was told
in the tabulation room?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed in there, even though I was a poll watcher. I really wanted to be in there. I was told to leave that room.
So you actually went in the room?
I walked in, and then I was told to leave.
Who was in the room?
Susan Cunningham was there. Dottie Cornett was there, and among other people. Shane Green was there.
Shane Green?
Yes, with the Republican Party.
The guy that I followed the ballots down the highway with not too long ago.
Yeah, he was there. He was there. I tried to go in there.
He was allowed to be in the room, and you were a poll watcher, and you weren't allowed to be in that room at all?
Correct. I was told to leave the room.
Leave the room.
Yeah, because I walked in for a little bit, and then they said, hey, you can't be here.
So are you a little concerned about how the elections are going to go during your run for office?
Somewhat concerned, yeah. Like, I don't know if there's going to be any poll watchers there. I don't know who's going to be there.
Do you plan on having a poll watcher advocate for you?
Yes.
And how many? I think you can have, 2, right?
Yes, you can have 2 poll watchers.
2 per position that's running for office?
Yes.
What's the process of signing up a poll watcher?
So the candidate appoints the person to be the poll watcher. The poll watcher must do some training that the Secretary of State provides. And then, you go and you submit your paperwork whenever you show up.
And so they kicked you out of the tabulation room while you were a poll watcher, but here you are sitting at the desk running for Angleton Drainage District because you feel like at some point it's going to change. How do you feel like this is going to go for this election if you're the outsider trying to get in?
I feel with the recent elections, and you followed elections, the recent ones, the school bond, the commissioner one, I think people are starting to realize that nothing's going to change until they go and vote. And I have a lot of faith in the constituents and in the people of the Angleton community. I have a lot of faith in them, and I know they're going to show up to vote because they care. We've already seen that in the recent elections.
I like that you're a conservative independent, and I really like your tagline on your campaign sign, tax victim advocate. Can you elaborate on that some?
I'm considering myself a conservative independent. I will advocate for all the taxpayers, regardless of political affiliation, because I feel that all taxpayers at this point are victims. They've been victimized.
If the citizens elect you, and will you come back on the show and tell us about what you found in the Angleton Drainage District and what's going on over there?
Absolutely. I think the taxpayers deserve to hear back from their elected officials.
And you seem really engaged with local politics. Do you attend any meetings?
Yes, I do. I attend several.
What meetings do you attend?
One that comes to mind is the Commissioner's Court.
Do you attend in person or do you watch it online?
I attend both.
I know it's a pain in the butt to be able to attend these meetings because they're held at 9 o'clock in the morning every other Tuesday. So you'd have to take off work or have the day off to be able to attend. I do like the fact that you can go back and watch it online once they post it. Have you noticed anything in particular that stood out about the Commissioner's Court meetings?
Yes, the fact that people, when they go to speak to the commissioners in the meeting, public comments, they get belittled. They tend to be belittled.
The people that speak up, what do you have, like 3 to 5 minutes if you sign up to speak?
3 minutes.
And so these people are taking off work, and it's something that's on their heart and something they feel like they want to be heard. And the Commissioner's Court, is it the judge or the commissioners that's belittling these people?
Both.
Well, you've hit all the major talking points. I think you've hit the nail on the head for a lot of our listeners. Unfortunately, I can't vote for you, or I would, at the Angleton Drainage District because I live out of your precinct. But I know there's a lot of viewers out there that have voted in Angleton and live in your voting precinct. They've gone out and they voted down the Angleton school bond, which was over $150 million, which we spoke about, saved the taxpayers a ton of money. And they also voted against Commissioner Ryan Cade, part-time commissioner, full-time pendejo. And they did a dang good job getting rid of him and dodged a bullet. So I'm going to open up the floor and give you this time to speak directly to the people in Angleton Drainage District voting area.
I want the voters of the Angleton Drainage District to know that I don't go with the flow. I will be the elected official to advocate for you and call out waste, fraud, and abuse. I will be the one advocating for you in those meetings. I will be the one that's going to drain the swamp by pulling the plug at the Angleton Drainage District.
I like it. So this is up to you, viewers. If you want to drain the swamp, the plug is literally in Angleton Drainage District. Angleton is the county seat. The Drainage District is where the plug is. I know you guys feel strongly about advocating for good people, honest people that want to go out and do the right thing for the people. And I feel like you're the right person to do it. I appreciate you coming on the show, Laura. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer my call out and actually sitting in the hot seat and answering the questions.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Absolutely. I'd love to have you back on.
Thank you.